there's one thing we have in common, and that is our virginities. We like to defend our virginity. We fortify our virginity through the means of card tricks. Every time you watch one of these videos, your virginity level gets up a little bit. It's like one of these levels of these video games that you guys play instead of going out and talking to girls. And the reason for me bringing this up is because today I'm going to test your virginity. I'm going to hope that your virginity leads to some bountiful and productive results, because I'm going to show you a fairly interesting card trick that I hope you guys will be able to improve. So on today's quest to fortify and strengthen our virginities as strong as possible, I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a color change, something that you could do with an ordinary deck of playing cards. Our victim today is going to be the unfortunate 2 of diamonds. Now, it's a fairly simple color change. We'll just take the 2. Don't get offended because I use the word simp within the word simple. And I know most of you guys are in fact simps, but we take the 2 and we'll throw it in the deck. And of course, in that action, we get a nice little bit of a single card color change for that 2 to a king. Oh boy, isn't magic wondrous? And this is a fairly easy to do color change. So what you guys are going to do is you guys are going to improve this. This is just a simple, incomplete idea, and you guys are going to improve this based on your sleight of hand mastery and your virginity levels. So for this, grab your favorite deck of playing cards. I'm using these because my Bin Wangs unfortunately don't have borders. So I'm going to be using these because they have borders, which is going to cover the method. You see the method there? That's going to be a little bit of a cleanup. So the setup is going to be taking the card that is second from the face of the deck and turning it face up. That's it. That's the only setup. Make sure that you have a little bit of a cover card here. So the bottom card is going to act like a cover card, and you're going to need to get a pinky break above that card. So you're going to need a pinky break above that card. If you don't know what a pinky break is, I suggest you check out the Pigcake Magic Academy. $5 a month gets you 2 videos every single week going over card coin stuff. I just recently made a post about it. If you look at my YouTube, you'll see all the lessons there. It's all there. You can check it out. It's all in black and white. You could just check out and see what's available. $5 a month, you get access to all the videos apart from the mentalism. That's $10 a month, but you also get access to everything else. You get access to the piggybacker videos, which are $1 a month, and those are 2 extra tutorials you get a week that I don't post anywhere else. Damn, that's a lot of content. That's a lot of work, piggy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the top card of the deck and turn it to a face-up position. Now, when I take my deck, see this? I'm gonna take the deck. You see what that does? It transfers the break to a thumb break. So now I could swing cut the cards and have this situation in my left hand over here. So one more time, I have the break, which is held with my pinky. I have a face-up card on top of the deck, which is shown to the spectators. I'm going to transfer the break to my thumb as I swing cut the cards to my left hand. Now there's going to be a couple things that are going to happen at once here. You're going to take the card and you're going to side jog it to the left. So you're going to side jog the card to the left. Now, in my experience, there's a couple of different ways to do this color change. The first one is using your forefinger to actually physically push the card into the deck. The other way is to let gravity do its trick. Now, gravity is going to allow that card to square up with this situation here. So now it's going to be squared up with these third cards as you drop the cards on the deck. So you could do it both ways. You could either do it with your forefinger, that you just square the card up as you drop. So you're going to square this up just to get it from this angle. You're going to square this up as you drop all 3 cards, and you're going to get a color change that way. So that's one way of doing this, and that looks like this, just like that. Now it's a nice little bit of a color change. Or if you have sufficient practice and you trust gravity, all you're going to do is just simply drop this card. You're going to make sure that your hand is a little bit more upwards. So this card is facing the actual ceiling right now. And what you're going to do is you're just going to drop all 3 cards. When you drop all 3 cards, that card is going to coalesce and drop into the left hand. And the card that's going to show is going to be the 10. So let's go over that one more time here. All I'm doing to help the situation out is that I'm aiming my right hand and the card itself to the ceiling. In doing that, gravity is going to take effect here, and all the cards are going to drop as one on top of the deck. So that card is going to get squared up with the other cards as I drop it on the deck. What that's going to do is that's going to create a little bit of a color change. So a little bit of a color change. And what I like about this is that you could show this card over here. you could then push off this card and they see a back here. So it really does look like that single card changed color. Now you are left dirty here. You are left dirty with a card that is face up underneath this one. So that's the only sort of downside to this particular color change. But the reason I'm putting this here is you guys could improve this. There are probably a number of different ways to handle this, probably a number of different ways to improve this. As I mentioned, the first version of this involved my forefinger, so I would just square this up as I drop the card, and that would create the color change. But eventually I realized, you know, you could just drop it. You could just drop the card. Now, just a little point of tip here, you might want to have your pinky on the bottom. So with your left hand, you're going to have your pinky here towards the bottom instead of towards the right of the deck where it usually is. The reason for that is because when the cards actually drop, you want them to cradle. So if, for example, let's say right now I don't have my pinky in that situation and I drop the cards, there's a likelihood that they're going to jet out here. So if I put my pinky here, what's going to happen is that even if that card falls forward, even if it falls back, it's going to align with the deck just because my pinky is there, kind of creating a space for that card to fall, a safe space, if you would. So whether or not you use the method with the forefinger or you do the actual method where you are depending on gravity, it's still a fairly startling color change because the card changes places as it's dropped onto the deck. And that's what I like about it. And that's why I think that there's a lot of merit in this particular color change. Now, the only difficulty of this would be getting the actual position. So remember, you're going to have a setup in advance. So you're going to have to think about the context in which you're going to use this. Is this going to be the card that they picked? Is that going to be the card that is somewhat predicted? Is this going to be a card that they picked, which is going to be a prediction card? You show it to be wrong, you show it to be this card, for example, and then you could do the color change from there. So why is it that I'm getting into this position to do this color change, or why is it that I'm changing the card to begin with? Why is it that that card happens to be changing to this one? So think about that, and just leave your solutions in the comment section below. Hopefully together we can have a virgin off here in the Pigcake community and hopefully be able to come up with something interesting with this particular change. But it's just a little bit of a drop change, if you want to call it that. It's not super hard to do. As you see, gravity does most of the work. The only thing you have to do is just get the breaks to begin with and drop the cards accordingly. It really does help if you put the pinky at the end, so don't dismiss that particular tip. That was a pun. That was a pun. Don't dismiss that as a tip, because that's going to help out a lot, and you are going to have to play around with the placement of your hand in terms of dropping the actual card. Me personally, I find the best experience is when I turn my hand to make sure that the card is actually perpendicular to the roof, so the card is actually facing the roof. So when I drop the card, what's going to happen is that all those cards are going to square up and it's going to land on the deck. So you're going to have to play around with the placement of it and see where it is that you could drop the card that is going to be the maximum sort of reliability when it comes to actually doing the color change itself. But it's almost a self-working color change if you don't consider the pinky break as an actual move. So as far as that, thank you guys for being hot viewers of this channel. I do appreciate it. I appreciate all the comments I usually get, including the ones that are cursing me, and saying that I'm gonna dream of wolves because apparently I decided to mess with the wrong person. I appreciate those comments as well. So I just want to take the time here and say thank you guys. Thank you guys for that. I really don't know what words of wisdom to give you at the end of this video. Usually most people cut right off at the end of the actual tutorial, at the end of the actual method itself. So there's a chance that you stopped watching this 3 minutes ago. That's a big possibility. And if that's the case, I just want you to know that you're a terrible individual. You were probably that kid in class that would remind the teacher that she forgot to check the homework. You should be ashamed of yourself, not only for being interested in magic, but also because of that I still remember that one girl that would do that in class. The teacher actually didn't come to class, and instead of just having a normal day where we just spent an hour and 30 minutes chilling, nobody was really going to do anything. This girl decided to press the button on the intercom system and tell the office that our teacher wasn't in yet and we didn't have a teacher, and they brought in a substitute, and that substitute had work for us to do. I hope that girl right now is having a whooping cough. But that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to do everything that people do when it comes to videos. Thank you. This is what it's like making out with me, by the way. You're going to get a lot of this. And I like to use tongue. I also keep my eyes open. So that's another thing, just to warn you about. I keep my eyes open. So if you're having to open your eyes at some point, you're going to see this. So